me on the broadcast. Sumit Peer, the political commentator, in fact, joins me on the broadcast. So thank you for speaking to us. The big question remains to be in focus is that should India be calling off the diplomatic ties with Canada, given how Canada has been responding and the kind of charges that the Canadian police has in fact also leveled against the diplomats of the Indian government. What is your first instinct of reaction on that note?
Well, ma'am, good morning. It's very unfortunate. It is irresponsible, it's uncalled for, and it is professionally a disaster on the behalf of the Canadian government and their diplomacy. Because if this is how they handle and they want to have ties with the world's largest democracy, this is atrocious. Because, you can have your political compulsions, you can have your political gains, or you want to please your galleries, but that is your domestic politics. When domestic politics starts dominating the international policies and international politics, that is a very sad state of affairs for a country like Canada, and that is what the Canadians have reduced themselves to. This is what is kind of completely unacceptable. There is no way Canadian police, who is literally an antique, I would say, of the Jurassic era, and these people cannot solve the increasing number of crimes in Canada. They can't find any terrorists, they can't find these jihadis, they can't find these FSS guys, they can't find Khalistanis, they can't find the people who killed that Baloch activist, and they can literally find nobody, but whom they want to kind of investigate and talk to. They want to come and investigate to our decorated ambassador to Canada, who has a service of 26 years, a distinguished IFS officer, and with all those things going on, with all those tamasha going on in Canada, they write to us and say, look, we want to go and talk to him. Look, this is all political, this is all motivated, this is all pleasing the galleries. But if Justin Trudeau thinks he can do that at the cost of bringing the relations to this halt, this is something which the people of the Canada have to think when they are voting in the next government. Because look, India can live without Canada. Can Canada live without India? That's the question. As far as the relations go, we have a big diaspora there. We have nothing with the people of Canada. We have nothing against Canadian ethos and ethics. But our problem is with the Justin Trudeau government, who has completely lost his track, where the Khalistanis have infiltrated the government, and it's the only country where Khalistanis have not infiltrated the government. They are in fact, managing the foreign policy of the government. They are managing the actions of the government. So it's a very sad state of events for Canada, and we will do what we have done. We have done our best, and at this point of time, I think the action which is initiated by Prime Minister Modi and Dr. Jaishankar is the most appropriate action, because India is not a pushover. You can't push over India like this, and you can't expect something nice from you. In fact, we have been very patient with the kind of videos I have seen on the social media, the Fijis being burned and all that, crap really happening out there, and government is just defending it in the name of free speech. Oh, this is not free speech. Secessionism, separatism, breaking of another countries, organizing those referendums and all cannot be free speech. So the world has to know that, and I think Canada is a good example. It will be a good lesson to all the countries in the world. Look, there's a Lakshman Rekha vis-a-vis India, and if you breach that Lakshman Rekha, then there is no coming back. Now, whatever happened, I think Indian government did the best what it could, and it is completely right on its stand. Whatever happened, the person who is responsible for it is the current government of Canada and the current Canadian Prime Minister, who is responsible. And if you look at even at the Canadian media, the kind of criticism he is getting on this, even his own media is blaming him for this, because it's a diplomatic fiasco which he has created. And if he wants to be very close with jihadis and Khalistanis and Chinese, that's his call. And let me tell you, ma'am, when it comes to Canada, it has become a playground for ISI and FSS, that is Chinese intelligence, and these so-called Canadian Royal Mounted police who are still mounted on those horsebacks. I don't know what the hell are they doing. I don't know how they don't know what do we know here. Their real estate is controlled by Pakistanis and Chinese. The amount of crime that has happened here is going up. The things are getting out of control in Canada. And it's very unfortunate to see such a beautiful country going into such a sad state of affairs because of an incompetent leader. And I have to say here now, he's a failed model, a failed actor, a failed film producer, now a failed politician. Because he is somebody's son, doesn't give him liberty to become what he is. And what Prime Minister Modi rightly says, कि वंशवाद सबसे बड़ा अवरोधक है democracy का. That this dynastic politics is the most detrimental thing in a democracy. Imagine if he was not who he was, if he was not his father's son, he won't be here. And this is what happens when country gets incompetent leaders, and these incompetent leaders unfortunately seal the fates of millions of people by no mistake of their own. But I believe after this government is gone and we have a new government in place, our relations with Canada will be as robust as they were. Again, we have nothing against the people of Canada, against the Canadian ethos and Canadian values. It's only this current dispensation where the problem started and when the problem has. And whoever are the countries in the world, they have to start respecting India and Indian diplomats. And India message is very clear from Bharat. We don't take it lined up. You will get as back as good as you give it to us. And this, what happened to Canada, that's a good lesson for them. Let them be in their own place. Let the so-called Royal Mounted Police or whatever you call them, let them go and look find some more pickpockets in Canada. Let them fight those molestation crimes which are happening in Canada every day. Forget talking and to our High Commissioner and
all right.
Doctors. This is all crap, ma'am. Sorry.
All right, political commentator Sumit Peer, in fact, speaking to NewsX. Thank you for giving us your time.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.